Well, good morning. Welcome to February 17th, 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation. This is a video that I do every day, a little after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the various challenges and the opportunities that I met. I recite the 8 objectives of my creed, and I plan for the coming day. First, welcome to new YouTube subscribers. It's good to have you here. A little heads up, this video, although it's taking place in Japan, this is a Japanese convenience store, Lawson, or Lawson Station as it's sometimes called by us foreigners. But that's about all you'll get of Japan, other than my incidental descriptions of events that may have happened in the last 24 hours with my life here. The videos that in this channel that relate to Japan are the other videos, the retiring in Japan, DIY Japan, etc. Also, in this video, I typically talk about death. So if that's a subject that you're not comfortable with, this probably isn't a good video for you. I also talk about other subjects that are controversial. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's get started. There's 3 things I do during this time. I review the last 24 hours to see how I did with the various challenges and opportunities that I met. I recite the 8 objectives of my creed and think about them a little bit, see if there's a way to tune them. Mostly I'm just aligning myself with my North Star. And then third, I'll prepare for the coming day. But I do want to thank my Patreon subscribers and my YouTube members and anyone who watches my videos. You bought me this coffee this morning. This is a mild milk coffee from a very famous brand, at least in Shizuoka, called Komeda Coffee. They have this kind of a iconic figure. Can't quite show it to you. See that kind of dude up at the top? Very good coffee. And I don't like, this one's a little sweeter. I had one different one yesterday. But this one's a little sweeter. I like it less sweet. So the one I had yesterday was definitely, I think, better. Okay, let's get started. So what I first do is I think about the last 24 hours since I did this video in this same spot yesterday. What happened in those 24 hours that was a challenge or an opportunity to me, for me to live well and to make yesterday a good, useful, and productive day, and in alignment with my values? If there were challenges that I faced, what were they, and how did I face them down? If there were opportunities to improve, likewise, how did I do? So the challenge that came was this morning. Literally, I get up at 4 a.m. every morning, and by 4:10, I had faced the challenge of realizing that I had dropped the ball packing. We're moving today to the new house that we bought. Again, if you're new to my channel, I just recently, my wife Yumiko and I just recently retired. We're both age 60. We completed our careers in the United States and we've moved to Japan. My wife is Japanese. We bought a house here in the same community where we raised our daughter, Emily, and we're moving into that house today. Yesterday was our packing day. The movers come today to move us out of our temporary apartment into the house. And I dropped the ball yesterday. Yumiko and I had kind of divided up the day to pack, and I packed my own stuff, but then I really left the bulk of the work to Yumiko, and I don't know what I was thinking in doing that. I think it was that I thought that we didn't have a lot to pack, but in the end, when I woke up this morning, because I need to keep the dog safe, because the one dog, Rudy, there's more to this story than I'm letting on. We have 2 dogs, Ollie and Rudy. Ollie is the black dog, Rudy is the white dog. Ollie's fine. He's good with everybody. Rudy is very attached to me, and he has been since we've got him. and I have to sequester him away from everybody else in the world because he's very defensive. So the strategy that Yumiko suggested was that after I go to bed, I always go to bed very early, about 8:30 every night. She would complete packing while I took Rudy into the bedroom so that she could do so in peace. It's a good strategy. And Yumiko had actually suggested that when she was at the house yesterday and I was alone at the apartment, that I pack my own stuff. So I guess I was only listening superficially. Okay, well, I'm uncovering something deeper. I'm uncovering something deeper, aren't I? Huh? Okay. I'll go one level deeper. One of the challenges that I have in Japan, and I think my wife may have faced this a little bit in America as well. We have kind of an agreement. We've basically split our 38 years together between Japan and America. Wherever we're living in one country or the other, the native leads the way. So that means that when we're in Japan, Yumiko leads the way, and I support her. And when we're in America, I do the same. And I had just come off a long course of, leading the family for 11 years while I was in America. And coming back to Japan, and Yumiko's far more capable of pulling her own weight in America than I am in Japan, given her fluency in English, both reading and speaking. Coming back to Japan, have caught myself a couple of times falling into falling into the habit of following my wife's lead, even in unnecessary things. Like, it's necessary that I follow her lead when we're setting things up with the gas company for the house, because I just can't do it. It's not necessary for me to follow her lead when we're arranging the details of our move, the logistics and the planning of how we're going to do it. Yet I get into the bad habit of doing that. And so coming back up a level from the deeper challenge of following my life's lead, coming back up a level, yesterday, which was pre-moving day, packing day, she had kind of strategized in her mind a way that we could have Rudy, I would take Rudy to the new house in the morning. Well, she did some packing around the house so that Rudy wouldn't interfere. And then we would switch places. And then I would come to the house, and she had actually told me, you can use that time this is her leading, right? To pack your stuff. And that's all I did. And frankly, there wasn't much time. So I came back to the house. I literally packed up all the few things that I had, and then I threw in a trip. I made a trip back to which was unnecessary, because we hired a moving company, and she actually gave me a sideways look. Why are you moving stuff to the house? We hired people to do that. I could have used that time to be unpacking the housewares. On the flip side, though, maybe we didn't go into it in enough detail, because the other lower thought was, if I start packing the kitchen stuff and the housewares, I'm going to do it wrong. I won't do a good job. And since we had talked about me packing my stuff, and there was a further element, which is that after I went to sleep with Rudy, Yumiko would finish things up. I thought that would be an incidental amount of work. Turns out it was a lot of work. Even though we don't have a lot of stuff, she's been here for 6 months, and she's built up a pretty good collection of housewares, which are seemingly hidden away that I didn't really see. And when I woke up this morning, she was asleep, and I came out into the living area, and I saw what she had done. I realized, wow, Yumiko had worked really hard through the night to prepare for the move, to pack everything up. And so this is then where this exercise is where I review the 24 hours. I realized that I had left her an undue burden, a lot of work. And with a little more thought and some better communication, I could have avoided that and pulled my weight better. So in terms of opportunities, challenges and opportunities, the challenge is already passed. I missed my opportunity to pull my weight. I know I'll be forgiven for that. And frankly, probably Yumiko didn't expect anything other than this to happen because, like I said, I wouldn't do a good job anyway. And I have my, in a more meta level, I have my reciprocating things that I do, even here. Like, for example, the yard, right? I mean, I did, and basically all of the cleaning, all of the major cleaning and all of the dump runs were all on me. So, I'm glad I pointed that out. So interesting. So what we wound up doing was the stuff that was more appropriate for me, which is, for example, the heavy lifting, as a man, so to speak. But literally, that's what it is. The gritty, grimy stuff of going to the dump. I did all of that. I did 15 of the 17 runs. Yoko, my sister-in-law, came with me on 2 runs, but I did the lion's share of that. I did all of the second floor in the new house. Did all the deep cleaning. I did all of the yard, and she did all of the packing, basically of the kitchen, which is, this is going to sound politically incorrect, but her domain. It's her kitchen. That's just the way we are. I mean, I don't cook. So she had a chance to pack and organize it the way she wanted. I'm seeing that now. So maybe this wasn't so much of a negligent or insensitive element in me as much as simply a natural sorting of duties according to our unspoken sorting of duties. So nevertheless, I felt bad this morning because I woke up, what a great night's rest. Wow, Nico's been working all night long. I felt bad. So that's 2 things, was the leading thing. And back to drop down a level again to the leading thing. I'm going to keep an eye on this because this is something that if I don't act on it, I could easily fall into a rut of laying more responsibility on my wife's shoulders, my Japanese wife's shoulders in Japan, than is necessary. There is so much that I can do here, despite my language challenge. I mean, I know it. I can rise to almost any circumstance and find my way through. And what I need to do that is to literally push through the crowd. The crowd being my wife, my sister-in-law, and my daughter, and saying, Papa's got this. And when I do that, everyone is very receptive to that. I have to remember to do that, though. Otherwise. Although, I think that after this move, and after we get everything settled and the utilities are all turned on and the property taxes are paid and health insurance is all set up and we settle into a routine where basically Yumiko and I wake each morning to do as we please every day, that'll be less the case. Heck, I even know my doctor. I could practically go see my doctor on my own. These things I can do, but I have to press forward. I have to not lean on my wife. It's a good thing for me to do. It's a healthy thing for me to do, and it's a responsible adult thing for me to do. So I talked about those 2 things. The third thing I want to talk about that's a challenge, that's a really strange one. I've never had this experience in my life. Maybe this is similar to what is described as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. That incident with the bamboo spikes earlier in the week has haunted me. It literally comes back to me in moments, which I've been trying to figure out. And what I think it is this might sound strange. It's not a fear of death. I do think I'm ready to die. Because that's not what the fear is. The fear is of being cheated out of freedom. I'm haunted by the thought that I'm really savoring being retired. I think I've kind of turned a corner from this. It's been 2 months plus. I turned a corner from what the hell is this all about? You know, what I do with my time, you know, who am I? You know, what am I doing anymore? What is my, to, wow, this is really kind of neat, you know? I get to do whatever the hell I want every day. And there's a lot I want to do. And I'm healthy, and I'm mentally acute, and I can do anything. To suddenly realizing that all might have evaporated away. And it's not like, it's a little more to than that. It's not like you suddenly get some bonus thing that happens and you take, like, you know, a big cookie placed in front of you and someone takes it away. It's like someone has been telling you for 40 years that if you just wait 40 years, there's a cookie. It's a really, really good cookie. You just got to wait 40 damn years. And just before the cookie is placed in front of you after those 40 years, you die. The other analogy that I use is a great roller coaster, like you're at Six Flags, and they have the best roller coaster in the park. And you really want to go on that roller coaster, but everybody wants to ride that roller coaster. So there's a long 40-year wait to ride on that roller coaster, not a 3-hour wait, a 40-year wait in line to get there. That's your career. That's 40 years from age 20 to age 60 of working hard to get to the front of the line, where you get to finally, you're at the front of the line, the roller coaster comes into the station, the bar gets up, the people that are on the coaster die and get the hell out of the way, because that's what happens, right? I mean, the old people die and get the hell out of the way, so that the next cohort of, you know, 60-year-olds or 60-something-year-olds, you know, the decade of retirement, get into the roller coaster, and the bar comes out and they get to ride the best roller coaster in the park. It's a cautionary tale, because we get to, after retirement, we get to ride the roller coaster, but only until this coaster comes back to the station and it's our turn to die and get the hell out of the way. So it's a very brief experience. You know, brief is a relative term, right? And for some people, the brevity could last decades. For some people, it could last, you know, weeks or hardly get into it at all. And that's the point. You know, I'm only 2 months into retirement. Earlier in the week, I was just days away from moving into my retirement home and starting my retired life. And I almost died. That would be, again, is like getting on that damn roller coaster right up after 40 years of waiting in line, right up to it, and I could see the coaster has come into the station, the bars are up, there's nobody in there. They died and got the hell out of the way. And I'm about to step into the coaster, and I fall on a punji stick in my yard, in my new backyard, and bleed out on the ground. That's a punchline that I don't want to live or die. As ironic, I do want to die. I would like to die an ironic death, and that would certainly be an ironic death, but it's not the one I want. Not at this point. I want to continue living, to enjoy this freedom and this time, because I have a lot that I'm planning to do now. That doesn't mean I'm not ready to die. I think I am ready to die. When I was flying backwards through the air, aware that the punji sticks were behind me, and that I was going down hard and something could happen. And indeed, 3 of the sticks were right next to 2 of them were down here by my neck when it landed. 1 of them was right over here. If I had been just a little further over, it would have been in the back of the head and in the neck. As I was flying through the air, the thought that going through my head was, oh, I'm gonna die. It's like, literally it was, this is a stupid way to die. And that's been haunting me in the best sense. It's causing me, as someone even noticed in my video yesterday, I made a video, my long retiring in Japan video, and then out of that I pulled out a couple of snippets. One of those snippets was my first morning working in the garden, and I had Rudy with me, the dog, and I set up the camera while I was doing some garden work, and there was one point where I was in the same situation, and I was pulling at a little root. And someone actually left a comment. They said, Kurt, I noticed that you turned around, you looked around. Well, you were doing that, and that was the exact same setting. To be honest, I did that for the sake of the viewers, because I had already cleared all the bamboo spikes behind me at that point. So when I'm pulling that root, I knew it was clear. But as I was doing that, I thought, maybe someone's going to see this, and they're going to say, there you are, Dan, doing it again, Kurt. So I deliberately turned around to look behind me to send a signal to my viewers that I was being cautious. And that's the type of thing, that's the positive, that's where leveraging, using reason to leverage an almost tragedy into a positive, where I'm going to be more cautious. And I told Yumiko and I had a long talk about this during our walk yesterday. A long talk about about being careful in our older age, seeing the doctor regularly, and exercising caution, even in such innocuous things as gardening, which I'm learning can be more dangerous than I imagined. So I've talked about the last 24 hours. Now let's go over the 8 objectives of my creed. These objectives are what I use. They're my plan of action, how I plan to live my day. And I don't go into detail. If you want to go into the details, you can read about them in my book, Going Alone, in the chapter titled The Good Life, where I talk about all 8 objectives and all 35 principles in detail. I name each objective each morning so that I have them fresh in my head. I know what I'm about. I know what this day is about, what I'm after. And what I'm after is 1, to be always ready to die, to have my affairs in order, my relationships sound, and my life's work complete. And they are. So I am ready to die. I don't want to die, but as I said in all the aforementioned stuff. 2, to make good and effective use of my time. So basically, if I'm making good and effective use of my time, then I am always prepared to die, because I haven't been wasting my days. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, which are exactly these objectives and principles that I'm outlining right now. And I've worked hard over them over decades to get a sound not an epistemology, a sound creed that I can use to live on. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions, so that I react well to the challenges and opportunities that I encounter. Not flying off the handle or saying things rash or that I'll regret later, but holding them in, chewing on things, and saying what is appropriate in the moment, letting the emotions pass sometimes, and in dealing things in a more reflective manner. 5, to perform good actions. These are actions relative to my creed. And in short, that means actions that further the state of virtue in the world, where virtue is defined as simply nothing more than the improvement of the well-being of thinking creatures, the reduction of suffering by those that can suffer. 6, to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities, so that I know the scope of my capabilities. I know what is within my reach and what is not, so that I expect and operate against the world and within the world in a manner that is in accord with my reach and my capabilities. Next is to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully. And it's amazing how, with practice, that becomes part and parcel of my constitution. It's almost just second nature now for me to speak and act in a measured manner. Even if the inside of me is flying off the handle, my outward sense, my outward aspect is my being is controlled, at least, if not at peace. Because sometimes it's a turmoil up here, but it takes effort to keep my as they say, keep cool while something's going on in here, outwardly cool. Because if I can do that, and it doesn't mean I'm being disingenuous, although I guess I am in a way being disingenuous, but I don't want to be genuine when I'm being irrational and rash, right? I don't want my family to have to suffer through that. So I'll let them know, and I've told Yumiko before, I said, I'm kind of having a moment here, and they kind of having my internal, there's a lot of noise going on right now, so I'm just going to need a little bit of time, or I'll take a walk, grab the dog and a little pack here, and I'll tell Yumiko, I'm going for a walk. And just let whatever the emotions are that are going inside sort out, keeping my balance, my equanimity. And then lastly, the objective of balance. Keeping in spite of the pulling on roots, bamboo roots, and flying through the air, keeping my balance in both body and mind whenever possible. All right, the last part of this is to talk about the next 24 hours. It's move day. So here's what we're going to do, what I'm going to do with my wife and dogs. One, I'm finishing up here. I'll read comments in a second. I'll finish up here. I'm going to go walk home. It's got to be very strategic today. Then I'm going to get in the Jimny, our Suzuki Jimny car, and I'm going to drive to the house where I have 4 bags of trash in the shed that I'm going to take. It's trash day. Drive to house and get those bags of trash. And it's not just normal trash, it's PET bottles, the plastic bottles. People that had lived there previously had an emergency supply of water in the shed. Like they had 40 giant 2-liter bottles of water. And so I poured all that out, and I need to dispose of that. I finally figured out how. Today's the day. So I'll take those bags and dispose of them. They're all crushed and properly sorted. Then after that, Yumiko and I I'll go home, we'll take the dogs for a walk. Then we're gonna go out for breakfast. Yumiko said the kitchen is closed, so we'll go out for breakfast. Maybe we'll go to the nice breakfast place we like so much. The air conditioner guy is coming to remove the 2 old air conditioners at our new house. And then the movers are coming in the afternoon to take everything over and install the new air conditioner, the refrigerator, the washing machine, everything. As for bathing, we don't have a bath in the new house. It's not set up yet. We have hired a contractor, and we think we've picked the unit bath that we want to buy. It's going to take a couple weeks to get all that installed and ready to go. It's only the 17th of the month. We have our lease for our current apartment, until the end of the month. So we'll come back to that apartment every night to use the bath. After that, we'll either bathe at my sister-in-law's house or at a local public bath. Those are a thing here in Japan. They're a very fun thing, actually. And they'll have our unit bath in place. That's the day's plan. Yeah. Okay, let's see if there's any comments that require response. Lots of comments. Okay. The Itsamaru. Hi. Your name I know. Good morning, Kurt. Good to see you. Good to see you too. And congrats on the house. Been checking out all the videos. Looks like it's a great place to settle down. Thank you so much. There's Robert. Good morning, Kurt. And he's saying good morning to everybody. Thank you, Robert, for welcoming everybody. Samurai Sooner says, good morning. Congratulations on moving into your house. I'm sure you realized that you're relieved the day is finally here. I am. And Itsamaru says, Ohio to Robert. And Robert says hello to Samurai Sooner. Samurai Sooner says hello to Robert. Andy. Hi, Andy, over there in Canada. Good morning, Kurt and everyone. Hi, Andy. Good to see you. Robert says good morning to Andy. Andy says good morning to Robert. Warren Eldridge. Hi, Warren. Good morning. I'm glad that Vlad the Impaler didn't take you out. Me too. Andy says I've been on the hunt for Kevlar underwear for Kurt. Thank you. I appreciate it. I could use that. Itzamaru says that's got to exist, I bet. Haha. Hi, Warren. This is Robert. Samurai Sooner says I think it's definitely about your excitement. Definitely about your excitement for the future. Is that little 5? I'm glad you are safe. After saw your post, it did scare me a little. Thank you. I appreciate the well wishes. Nitsamaru says, one of my bosses talked about a monk on the search for strawberries. After searching, finally he sees one growing on a cliff. He goes to pick it and slips off the cliff. On the way down to his death, he eats it and is enlightened. That's a great story. I'm going to remember that one. Thank you for sharing that, the Itsamaru. Robert says, hello, little 5. Renaissance says, good morning, Kurt. Good morning, Robert. Hello, Renaissance. I believe it. Robert says, the Itsamaru, a story expressing irony. How is living at the house? We're starting today, so they're moving into the new house today. So I'll be able to let you know in weeks ahead. Do you have any disappointments already, Kurt? In the house? Well, I haven't moved in yet, so I guess it's too soon. How the dogs adapt? So sorry, all your questions are anchored at having moved in yet. We haven't moved in yet, so I'll be able to answer those things in a couple weeks maybe. Yeah, and then the Itsamaru says, and then Renaissance says, all the activities you have related to the house, it keeps you busy and helps you keep you in shape. That's for sure. I am confused. I thought you were already living there, at least sleeping in the house. Nope, not yet. We're going to start sleeping there tonight, first night. And Robert says, hello, Renaissance, and Blue Tanuki, take care. Hey, Blue Tanuki. You're a friend from the Discord as well. Thank you. Well, everybody, that's it for the comments. I'm going to stop for now and sign off from here. Go do the trash, all the stuff I just mentioned. Thanks for joining me for today. And remember, I'll be back here tomorrow. Even though we're moving to the new place, I'm still going to be coming here. And I'm going to find a place to, I've already located a place where I can fold in my daily Mount Fuji shot. So that's not going to stop, just a slightly different angle. Okay. Robert says, believe, welcome, hello. Renaissance says, well, enjoy it and have fun. Pizza Mother says, take care all. And Andy says, cheers. Cheers, everybody. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care. Be aware of those bamboo spikes. See ya.